There are props, and then there are myths. And few movie costumes are wrapped in more mystery, confusion, and flat-out folklore than the dudes. Ow! Now this costume has bounced around the collecting world for years. Treated like a valuable commodity, a sacred relic, or a hot potato? Depends who you ask.
You know, that's just like your opinion, man.
So, is this the dude's costume, or just another Lebowski? We're digging into the mythology, the provenance, even the knitting, because if you're gonna call something the dude's costume, it better abide. The Dude from the Big Lebowski. My favorite Coen Brothers film, my favorite Jeff Bridges role, and this is probably the most iconic ensemble that he wears. Minus the dude's underwear and his jelly shoes, this is the entire costume.
He didn't wear any underwear.
He did.
Okay.
He wore Munsing wear, tighty whities,
Lanigan.
and the Coen Brothers were very specific about that.
Let me be real with you. I like a complete costume set just as much as any other collector. But this, no. And a lot of weird stuff has ended up in my collection over the years. Creepy clowns, worm puppets, zebra carcasses, and even Tim Burton's severed head, his little one. So my weird bar is pretty high. But somebody's underwear? Yeah, that's where I draw the line. Now, no judgment. Iconic underwear absolutely exists. From Risky Business to Breaking Bad, there are a ton of legendary undergarments. And yes, Jeff Bridges' underwear has popped up in auction. But I'll tell you right now, as much as I love screen matching, no thank you.
The costume designer, Mary Zofries, wanted it to look like he had had these for at least 10 years and that he never separated his darks from his whites. So something she said, which I thought was really interesting, is that they would sand the inside of all the clothes so it wouldn't mess with the outside, but it would make everything threadbare from the inside. And
So it would move around much looser.
Yeah, much looser and kind of hang on Jeff
That's
Bridges.
smart, yeah. It's easy to look at the dude's costume and think, well, that's nothing special. But hear me out. This is one of the most sophisticated pieces of character design ever put on film. Mary Zofries didn't just dress the dude, she revealed him. And she did it without a single word of dialogue. Sun-bleached, lived in, slightly out of time, the dude doesn't change. Not for fashion, not for society, not even for Laundry Day.
For anybody who loves that movie, this is like the holy grail. I would pray to it if it's real. All right?
Well, you better
Because-
get on your knees, buddy.
Yeah.
So, Martin, you're the materials expert. I mean, let's see if you can dive into costuming and see if you can figure whether this is right.
I mean, there's absolutely no way to do it. I mean, you could probably find this.
No way to do it?
No. I mean,
I thought
fabric.
there's any way to do anything.
Fabric you could find anywhere. Probably this you can find, I'm sure, anywhere.
Now, there's a shocking amount of mythology surrounding the dude's costume, and especially the cardigan. The story that you'll hear, the one that gets talked about at conventions, is that costume designer Mary Zofries pulled the original sweater straight out of Jeff Bridges' personal wardrobe. And look, it's a great story, but as far as we know, it's just that, a story. What we do know is this, that cardigan was a sourced item, a Pendleton, a very specific Pendleton, that was first released in 1972. It was discontinued in the 80s, and by the time the film was made in the 90s, it was a pretty rare find. The costume department made 3 copies of it. So in total, we're dealing with at least 4 dude sweaters. The original Pendleton, the hero, that's the one the dude wears through most of the film. It's also the one Jeff Bridges kept and still wears to this day. Now the other 3, those were commissioned by the production to match the hero. And we know at least one of those made it into the final cut. But is this the dude's other cardigan?
And this is one out of only 3 out there, other than the one he has.
Yes.
Did you see them sold, the other ones? Were they ever sold?
Yes. You know, when I acquired it, I did some research and I felt very confident that it matched.
All right.
The sweater matched.
And the Provenance was good on this.
I don't know who's owned this in the past. This sweater, pants, and t-shirt came from a prop store auction. Before that, it was auctioned by Profiles in History. And before that, it was sold by Real Clothes, a shop in Hollywood that bought used studio wardrobe and sold it off long before The Big Lebowski became a cult classic. This costume has changed hands a lot. And in my experience, when a piece gets passed around, there's usually a reason. Sometimes it's innocent, people upgrade, people downsize, sometimes it's financial, but sometimes it's because somebody found something they didn't like. And that's what worries me. So before I go calling this the dude's costume, we need to dig deeper. Much deeper.
Throughout the film, the one that you see has this hole right here that aligns with this part of the zigzag, which ours does not. The hole on that is in a different spot. And the only shot where you see it in a different spot is this scene where he has fallen over, and you can see that it's in the same spot here, right? In comparison to where this is,
right?
That is the same spot. And this is what Prop Store sold it as a good screen match, which is like, okay, like they all could have the hole there.
Now, Prop Store listed this cardigan as a screen match because of the hole in the sleeve. And look, a hole is interesting, but for me, a hole is not necessarily a screen match. The original Pendleton, the one Jeff Bridges wore in the majority of the film, also has a hole in the sleeve, and it's well documented. If one of the 3 backup sweaters also has a hole, it's safe to assume it was put there by the costume department, and the other 3 have it as well, potentially in the same place. So sure, a hole gets us in the ballpark, but if we're going to screen match this cardigan, I need something way more specific. Because right now, a hole doesn't mean the hole.
But what I'm seeing here is in the threading, the way that the threading is, if you really look closely at that, you see a gap here, you see 2 gaps here, you see a gap here, and all of those little imperfections in the knitting are there.
You're saying this matches this?
Yes. You see these 2 over top of this zag here.
There's one in between, and there's one on the bottom. There's tons
there.
of holes, right?
One above and one next to it here.
You're saying it's loose knitting. There's makes holes when they're loose knitting.
Yeah, but it's all in the same spot, especially this one, and there's kind of an imperfection there that's like a bump.
I mean, they're not holes. They're spaces in between.
Yeah, they're gaps in the knitting.
They're
like imperfections in the way that it's knit. This is the main one, but then when you follow the constellation, like these are all here.
But I mean, wouldn't those be in the other ones they made too? Because there's gaps everywhere.
It doesn't look the same.
Doesn't look the same at all.
It's around the wrist. Can you see him now?
A little bit.
More so?
Yeah, more so. But yeah, a little bit more.
All right, so this is where things can get dodgy. So yes, I can see what Caleb's getting at. Those little gaps in stitching, the micro irregularities, they might line up. But here's the thing, that is not evidence of a screen match. It's very easy to start seeing what you want to see. That's the danger of screen matching. You get excited, you zoom in, you freeze frame 1,000 times, and suddenly you're arguing about the negative space between 2 pieces of yarn. So yes, I see the details Caleb's pointing to, but are they conclusive? No. If we're going to call this the dude's cardigan, we need something undeniable. Because right now, all we've proven is that sweaters have stitches.
Caleb, you said that Pendleton now makes replica dude cardigans.
They do.
Can we look at one of those to see if the
Yeah, but
stitching is the
they're
same?
made much differently. They make them in China now.
Right.
They're like, they do them differently. They don't look quite the same.
Have you looked at this to see if this matches? How the brown connects right here and how these? See how they don't line up? This is off. This pattern here.
Yes.
See how there's a massive seam, right?
Yeah, right.
So we're
Right.
recognizing the seam.
Of course, of course.
It matches. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay, there you
1,
go.
2, 3.
There you go.
Oh, no, you can also see, you can see those 3. You can see how this thread comes across the top. That thread right there. Not the dark one, the light one.
Oh, okay.
That one is right there. It stands out by itself, right there. which
Yeah,
goes up.
yeah, exactly.
This is the same one. And this would be impossible to fake. All of these different pieces would be impossible to fake. These little touches are throughout this entire shot and the other shot that you showed us.
The entire sweater is made from this one band,
Yes.
right?
Right.
So you knit a giant band of
That's
it.
right.
Flat. A real sweater, you knit the entire sleeve. There's no fat seam lines on this sleeve.
Right here we see a seam.
Yeah, right there on the arm.
Yeah, I mean it's matching up
It's matching up, so you have the
as
little,
much as you can see.
so the little bottom crosses the edge.
Here, take a look at that.
All right. So yeah, so that matches, and then
you see where it comes together at a V in the middle of the brown, right?
the way the seam works on here, right? The patterns don't line up. You see, because the fabric has been cut, right?
Right.
So they're getting it tighter for the sleeve.
Mm-hmm.
So it creates this V where all the connections
right
come
there.
through, which is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can see that the nasty connection over here. Everything connects. And I
It
think
seems to line up, yeah. Let's look at this one down here. It does go past it,
Here.
and it kind of stops here with a little bit over. Yeah,
and
this
then
is
look
all
at the last
perfect.
brown mark.
Yeah.
It's offset. The last brown is offset.
It's all there.
Yeah, I see everyone what you're talking about.
Yes! Vindication!
Vindication. It's your opinion, man.
Well, I'm not entirely sure how Martin finding a match vindicates Caleb, but hey, I'm not here to be a buzzkill. The important thing is, this is a solid match. Not a hole in the sleeve, not a hopeful gap in the stitching, but an actual frame-accurate match to the film. And honestly, that's incredible, because as far as we know, this is the only cardigan outside of Jeff Bridges' closet that connects back to the film. That's incredible. A real piece of Lebowski history. So this combination with the combination of the seams on the side, this is it.
Yeah, there's
No question.
No question. No
But
question.
it would be impossible to replicate that many details
Yes.
on the thing.
Yeah.
But do the pants or the shirt or the glasses screen match anywhere?
So the thing about the pants is the pattern and the seam lines, similar to the cardigan. I don't know how many pairs of pants were made, but the only place that I can find that seems to look like the same seam lines and the same placement of the pattern is this scene that is the same scene as the cardigan.
Which would make sense
Yeah.
if they were all together at the same time.
You can see the white actually cuts in just below the knee into the seam.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Yeah, see how that goes in like this?
Yeah.
And you see where it ends, the stitch where it ends? Right at one of those little spaceships. Like
Spaceships?
it ends right like one of these little guys. It ends right there.
The spaceship, yeah.
Yes, right here. This guy right here. This splotch.
Right.
This splotch, yeah.
You seeing where there are two white pieces that come together?
Yeah,
And-
right. No, exactly.
Okay. If you look here, you can see on the inseam here, similar,
Yeah.
the white. Do these two come together,
Yes, they do.
or kind of? Yeah.
Yep. The arrow underneath right here, where it matches, there's the dark spot and the dark is 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Same. So everything matches on this.
I'd say that's,
Yeah.
if the two seams match on the same leg, I would say that it's
So
likely
you have the pants and
the sweater,
the
which
sweater
means
from
the
the
shirt
same
is
seam.
probably the same as well. That's 2 for 2. Every piece of evidence so far lines up with the story of the costume's provenance. That all of this came from one scene, was bagged and tagged together, and sold off at the end of production by Real Clothes to a collector who kept the whole outfit intact. So now the question is, can we get 3 for 3?
The only thing about the shirt is that there's a distressing on the neck that I don't see in this scene. Maybe here?
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say, I would say it's not a match, but I wouldn't say it's not the case.
Yeah.
Right here.
what's with the hole right there?
It's a cigarette burn.
Although the hole doesn't look to be the same shape.
I wouldn't say that this is the same shirt. I'm not sure about that.
Okay.
The last thing to look at would be the sunglasses.
Yes, so let's take a look at the glasses. The sunglasses, they're gas station, corner rack, didn't bother trying them on before you bought them kind of sunglasses. And somehow, they've become iconic, a staple of the film's posters, merchandise, Halloween costumes, all of it. because they are the purest expression of who the dude is. Relaxed, unbothered, and ready to block whatever cosmic nonsense the universe throws at him.
These were not sold as screen matched, but I looked at them and I think they look pretty good. There are a couple different versions of these glasses throughout the film that he wears, and this is the closest that I could find to what we have here, which is like a nick here. You've got the same kind of wear there, but there's more wear now than there was because they've been worn more.
Yeah, the color pattern matches, but that could have been part of the mold.
Right.
Oh, the wear is really close.
Yeah, around the
Yeah,
the
around
ear.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, it just did much more worn, that's it.
Yeah, right.
But all the wear
Which
is...
could just be from taking on and off. It's consistent, but there's more wear on the glasses there, so it's hard to tell specifically.
These have been painted, right? They're spray painted. They're fake.
The tortoiseshell?
Yeah, it's just spray paint.
Seriously?
Yeah.
They're not real. What is it? Varney
Yeah.
Varney glasses.
They're not real. They're just spray painted. And
Well,
then
that
airbrushed.
would make the pattern, if it matches, it's more difficult to do that.
Yeah. Either they look like they've been sanded and they've been spray painted. So those feel like they're like movie lenses that have been just...
It's either been painted or the original finish was painted on it and it's just worn off.
It's good in a way because it feels like these are,
Yeah,
you know,
customized.
custom painted glasses from the prop department.
Right.
When the paint's chipped off, it almost feels like somebody went over this with like a Sharpie. So I feel like these are real. Definitely from like all the work that's gone into them.
It feels like real wear.
Like real wear. It's like the paint's been like chipping off and it's caked.
Glasses are a maybe match, but
You're not gonna get rid of this one, right?
Oh.
No.
The more you know about it, the more you know how it's clearly used in the film and clearly identifiable by all its little flaws. It just means more to you. Well, I think it's safe to say this investigation really tied the room together. The cardigan matches, the pants matched, and the t-shirt, well, it doesn't not match. You see, The Big Lebowski isn't built on spectacle or special effects, it's built on character. And Jeff Bridges took that character and turned it into a philosophy, into a whole cinematic identity, into something that stayed with us long after the first time we saw him shuffle onto the screen. So uncovering the truth of this costume isn't just about solving a mystery, it's about appreciating the artistry that made the dude the dude. The dude abides, and so does his costume.